ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनाम् उपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थः प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। You can repeat after me. येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तम् तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। Okay. So welcome back, and for any new attendees, welcome to the class. So what we were talking about in the last class was some of the examples of Sarvanamas. So first, just to give a quick recap, Sarvanama Shabda, I said, is pronouns. Sarvanama is the name of everything. Sutra was Sarvadini Sarvanamani. Okay. So Sarvadini, what is Sarvadini? A list of a number of words which begins with the word Sarva. And that list is called in general, a group or a list is called Gana. So a book or a work where all these groups are listed is called Gana Patha. Dhatu Patha is another example of a list, but it's a separate work. It's also a list of dhatus. And then I said Linganushasana is another book which tells you about the gender arrangement in the language, right? And all these are part of what is called as Upadesha, because Adyucharanam Upadesha. And I mentioned Unadipatha is another piece of the Upadesha, and all these are the Angis, they are the attachments to what? Paniniya Sutra Patha. Okay? So that is also called Upadesha, by the way. Don't take that as something else. Okay. And people online, as I said at the end of the last class, and again I'm repeating that now, if anybody has any question at any time, please feel free to ask. Because to me, you are as much part of this class as people here. People here can just raise a hand and get my attention. And you deserve the same. So please raise your hand if you have a question. All right. So then, from there I went on to saying what are some examples, common examples of Sarvanama. What are they? Idam, Etat, Adas, and Tat, all of which have a meaning of this or that. Idam and Etat are this and that. Idam is something near. Etat is something even closer. Tat is remote, not in the field of vision. And Adas, actually, though the word is Adas, the words are actually as Asau, Amu, Ami, Amum, Amu, Amun. That's the way it runs. Okay? You will find all this. If you go look after page 58, you will find all the rupas. So, to the extent you look them up, it will help you. All right. So then I was trying to go to the next set, which is Asmat, Yushmat, and Bhavat. What is the speciality of Asmat now? Go to any language. Is there any substitute for the word I? You cannot use any other word for I. I is the only word. Is there any linga for that? No. So, unlike the Idam Shabda or the Etat Shabda or the Tat Shabda, where we have different declensions based for different lingas, in Asmat, which stands for I, and Yushmat, which stands for you, there is no such variation. There is only one set of words. So, it makes your life a little easier. If you remember just one set of 24 forms, Aham, Avam, Vayam, Mam, Avam, Asman. Okay. Now let us look at that a little. So page is 67 on Shabda Manjari, please. Page 67 on the Shabda Manjari. I am going to talk about the Yushmat and Asmat Shabda. So those of you who know it by heart don't need to take any page. But if you don't know it, please open that page. Shabda Manjari. So you will find there is in the second half or the bottom half of the page 67, Dakaranta Yushmat Shabdaha Trishu Lingeshu Samana Rupaha. Means what? In all the three lingas, in all the three genders, Samana Rupaha, the forms are the same or similar. Okay? So, this is a word, Dakarantaha. This Pratipadika Yushmat ends with Dakara, the. And Trishu Lingeshu, in all the three genders, Pullinga, Strilinga and Napumsakalinga, Samana Rupaha. They have the same form. Okay? Now, what does it mean? You. So, Tvam means what now? Tvam means what? You. Okay. Now, be a little more specific based on our understanding so far. Prathama Vibhakti. So, Ekavachan. So, what does Tvam mean then? Prathama Vibhakti means? Nominative singular is correct. English. This is, Pratik Bodhananji's joke. Late क्यों आया? देर हो गई. देर क्यों हो गई? Late आया. That won't work, okay? What I'm trying to get you to understand is, here we are saying it is the agent, karta. Which means what? Tvam is not just you. You are the doer of some action. Then Tvam makes sense, okay? Tvam. Yuvam. What is Yuvam? You too. Yuyam. You all. And I'm saying if in Kartari Prayoga we will say, you are the agent of some action. You too are the agent of some action. You all are the agent of some action. That's the speciality of first case. In Kartari Prayoga, what does Kartari Prayoga mean? Huh? The agent of the action is what is denoted by the verb. Okay? Tvam pathasi. What is happening now? Pathasi is the verb. What is the agent being denoted by it? Tvam. Therefore, it is going in Prathama. Therefore, what does Tvam mean now? You who are the agent of the action of Patha, reading. Okay? Yuvam Pathatha. What does it mean now? You two are the agents of the action of reading. I mean, you can say you two read. I'm making you say it agent because I want that Kartari Prayoga to sink in. Okay? Otherwise, it will go away. You will know your old translation, it will back. Because a lot of people here know what is Yuvam Patataha. I don't want you to stay with your own understanding. I want you to take it to the next level. Seeing it as Kartari Prayoga. Seeing it that it's an agent. Okay? Yuyam Patatha. Of reading. Okay. Yuyam Gachatha. Good. Okay? So that you should be clear about. So that is the first case. I'm not talking about the second, third, fourth, etc. right now. Alright? First case I told you about. Now look further though. Second case, what does it look like? The line. Read the line. Tvam, Twa, Yuvam, Vam, Yushman, Vaha. Now, did you see like this kind of thing so far? In Rama, we didn't see it. Right? In Rama, we didn't see it. Okay. In Lata, Mala, we didn't see it. We saw something in Idam. Now, what are these? What do they tell you? That these are alternate forms. Okay? So, you better know both forms. See Gita. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam. Kutastva kashmalamidam. What is twa? Twa and twam are same. What is twam now? And what is twa? Yushmat Shabda. Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. What does it mean now? Taking it as karma, as an object. That is correct. 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 What does it mean now? Kutastva kashmalamidam. Vishame samupastitam. Anarya jushtam asvargyam. Akirtikaram Arjuna. This kashmala, where did it come to you? To you, that object. You are the object. That is how twa. But what I'm showing you is this. Suppose you only memorize one form. Tvam yuvam yuyam. Tvam yuvam yushman. People memorize it like this also. It's okay. But then when you saw twa, you will be again bowled over. You don't know what to do with twa. Therefore, when you are learning it, learn it properly. Tvam yuvam yuyam. Tvam twa. Tvam twa. Yuvam, Vam, Yushman, Vaha. So what does it mean? Twam and Twa are alternate forms. Yuvam and Vam are alternate forms. Yushman and Vaha are alternate forms. They mean the same thing. But you have two ways of saying it. So the second case, singular, dual and plural all have two forms. So the meanings are exactly the same. They are both second case, singular, dual and plural, but there are two forms. For the singular it is Twam and Twa. For the dual it is Yuvam and Vam. For the plural it is Yushman and Vaha. Okay? And you will find both forms being used in the language. At least in Asmat and Yushmat, you better make sure you know this very well. All in general in pronouns. Because I think in general our Shastrakaras have a love for using short forms. You know, Vaha is much shorter than Yushman. And more interestingly, you look at line, the Chaturthi Vibhakti now. What does it say now? Tubhyam te, Yuvabhyam vam, Yushmabhyam vaha. Look at the sixth line, Shashti Vibhakti. Tavate, Yuvayoho vam, Yushmakam vaha. Now, you compare now the lines. Vam stands for how many things now? It stands for Dvitiya Vibhakti Dvivachana, Chaturthi Vibhakti Dvivachana, and Shashti Vibhakti Dvivachana. Similarly, Vaha stands for how many? Three of them. And Te stands for Chaturthi Ekavachana and Shashti Ekavachana. Okay? So, unless you know this nuance, when you see Te, you are likely to go off in the wrong side. So, when you see any of these words, any word which can be confused, you have to first do what? You have to have, Nishchayatmika Buddhi, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi iha. First, before you go to Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, you have to do here also, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Nishchayatmika Buddhi. What is this? Is this sixth case? Is this second case? Is this fourth case? Okay? This is very, very important. I'm saying a lot of things are very, very important because we are in the beginning and I have to say a lot of things are important right now. But I'm saying you will serve yourself very well if you make sure you learn both forms and know what the forms are. Then only you have a possibility of getting confused. What do I mean by that? I'm not joking. What I mean is this. Suppose you saw Te and you conclude it's always fourth case. Then you don't even think of sixth case, right? First you should know that there is a possibility. Right? Not knowing and not knowing that you don't know is the worst situation you can be in. Because you will never get out of it. Not knowing and knowing I don't know means there is room for growth. And knowing that I don't know is also room for growth. But not knowing and not knowing, that is very bad. So I'm saying first step, you know there are many forms. Second step, now you're confused, try to resolve the confusion. Okay? So that is the speciality of this Yushmat and Asmat Shabda. You'll see Ashmat Shabda has the same situation. Aham, avam, vayam. Then what? Mam, ma. Avam, now. Asman, naha. Right? Then Maya, avabhyam, asmabhihi. Then Mahyam me. Avabhyam now. Asmabhyam naha. Right? This is page 68 in case somebody is missing. Next page. Okay. Mat, avabhyam, asmat. Then mama me. Avayoho now. Asmakam naha. Mayi avayoho asmasu. So again you find exactly the same situation. Now and naha are in three places. Me is in two places. Name parthasti kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana. What is me there? You have to know now. Which one is it? Is it Chaturthi or is it Panchami? Is it Shashti? Well, if you say one of them, you're 50%, you're right. No problem with this. But here it happens to be what? Shashti. Mera koi kaam nahi hai. I don't have anything. Okay. Then we say this mantra, Shanti mantra several times. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunattu. What is this now? What is this now? Huh? But what is this now I'm saying? Huh? Dvitiya, Chaturthi or Shashti has three possibilities. Which one is it? Now you have to know. Saha now avatu. Saha. What is Saha? Now, how many of you know what is Saha? Saha is he. Tat shabda, tat pronoun, pullinga, prathama vibhakti, ekavachana is Saha. Saha taute, tam tautan, tena tabhyam taihi, tasmai tabhyam tebhya, etc. Right? Strilinga is sa te taha, tam te taha, taya tabhyam tahi. Anapumsakalinga is tat te tani, tat te tani. That's like Bharatanatyam. Simple. You can start that. Right? So now, Saha now avatu. Saha. Saha is in what now? Prathama vachana of Prathama vibhakti. So, it is likely to be denoting the verb. You should see that now. Don't forget what I told you. Everything I say should connect, okay? Don't keep one class that side and come to the next class. Keep all the class in your head. So, avatu is lot lakara. You haven't seen that. Avatu means may he protect. And I am telling you it is kartari. Now, avatu is by who is the agent of avatu now? Saha. He. Who is that he? Why? What is the pratipadikam? Saha. Tat. What does tat mean? That which is remote. That Ishvara who is not locally available. Because he is Jagat Karana. Shows our general buddhi, okay? I'm just connecting it back again for you. So, Saha avatu. Avatu is what kind of a verb now? A verb. See, suppose I say, sleep. He sleeps. Is that a complete sentence or not? Good. But suppose, and can you ask me any more information about that? Not much really. You could ask, how does he sleep on a bed or what? But I'm not interested in that. I'm saying essentially it's complete. But suppose I was saying, he reads. And you really want to know what he reads. If you just are interested in he reads, it's okay too. But if you want to know what he reads, does he read some New York Times, or is he reading on the web, or is he reading Ramayana? What is he reading? Then what you'll have to ask me, what does he read? Correct? This situation in general, where the verb takes an object for its action, is called sakarmaka. Means it takes an object. That's why I don't want to use the word active and passive. Sakarmaka here. Kartari karmani is active passive anyway. But here, sakarmaka is that which takes an object. Okay? A verb which takes an object, typically, is called sakarmaka. There is a more refined definition which we will get to. Okay? Right now, just stay with this. Don't conclude this is the definition. This is not the definition. Okay? This is just for simple understanding. So, he runs. You can't ask he runs what. Okay? In English, you can say he runs a corporation, but that's not Sanskrit. Runs means just runs. I'll tell you what, the final definition for it really is that a verb whose action culminates in something other than himself. An action which culminates in something other than the agent of the action is called sakarmaka. Because when you say read, the action of reading culminates in the book. But sleeps culminates in myself, the agent. The reader is not read, but the sleeper sleeps. You understand? The runner runs. You don't need a second object. But if I say eats a modaka, that modaka is where your eating culminates in, not in yourself. You don't eat yourself. Agent is you. You are the eater. But what you eat is not yourself. But what you sleep is yourself. And the result of that sleeping is on you only, right? That's the more final definition. We will see that again. Okay? Since I said it is not good definition, I just thought I'll mention it right now, but we are going to see that in greater detail. Because this is not the time for me to start sakarmaka akarmaka treatment. I'm just mentioning it at this point so that you have the first pass on the two words. So that the word sounds familiar when I mention it next time. Okay? Sakarmaka. Karmena karmana saha vartate. Has a karma. Has an object. Akarmaka. Na karma yasya saha. There is no karma. It has no karma. No object. Therefore, akarmaka. Your face has a question. Do you have a question? Hey. Yes. Don't confuse with karmani prayoga. Okay? hold your question on that right now. Don't go any further, okay? All you understand right now is this. Don't try to understand it with anything else. Understand this in isolation. A verb which can take an object, a dhatu which can take an object, such a dhatu will be called sakarmaka. A dhatu which cannot take an object, does not need an object, is called akarmaka. That's all. Don't go anywhere beyond this right now. I will take you beyond it when I want to, and then I will take more questions on this. Okay? All right. So, saha now, I have not forgotten where you came from. Saha now bhunatu or saha now avatu. Well, what is avatu? Saha avatu is, he is the agent of project. May he be the agent of protecting us. Where did us come from? Now. What is now? Object. Now is an object. Why did I bring this whole object subject business? Because I wanted to show you that avatu needs an object. Therefore, avatu is sakarmaka dhatu. Okay? And that sakarmaka dhatu has an object. Object must go in the second case. Dvitiya vibhakti. Now, look at your aham, avam, vayam. Second line is what? Mam, avam, now. Now, what are the two ways of saying it? Sahana vavatu or saha avam vadatu. Both of them are equally good. Okay? Now, if you are reading a bhashyam, Bhashyakaram, I don't know what he has done with this line. But very likely, he will say, now, avam. That's what he will say. Why? Especially because now can be avam, now can be avabhyam, or now can be avayoho. Therefore, if you see now, Bhashyakara will say now, avam. He will continue like that. That is Bhashyakara style. Okay? Yes. Okay. Question here was ma also means no. Yes, it can also mean no. A lot of things have different meanings. Okay. So don't worry about that. See, let your head not go elsewhere. Be sure that what I'm telling you, I'm not telling you anything wrong. Ma means here what it means. Okay. It means something else. Keep that in your head for now. All right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Anything which is, okay, the question is when do you use tat and others? Tat is something used for things which are not in your range. Hearing also, smell difficult. Hearing, it's not, I can't hear it, right? Or music, that music was great. That I heard in Carnegie Hall the other day. Right? That class which I attended 2 years ago, which is no longer in sight now, was great. That ice cream which I ate on my 4th birthday was fantastic. That is no longer available. Yeah? Okay. So, now, saha now avatu or saha avam avatu. Okay? Same way, I'm saying I give you one example. Every case these three words come, you have to watch out. I gave you one more with, the te. Right? Mame vaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. What is that te now? What is that te now? See, the thing is this. What I'm trying to show you now is one more dimension, okay? Here, how many te's did we see in Yushmat Shabda? We saw two. One in the 4th vibhakti and one in the 6th vibhakti. But Maya Metam Tarantite is not either of those. Don't think these are the only te's. Okay? Saha taute, tam tautan. That is in idam shabda, not idam, tat shabda, masculine. Okay? For that, if you want, you go back a couple of pages. You will see it on page 64. Page 64. Saha, tat shabda, dakaranta pullinga tat shabdaha. He, that. See that? So there what is happening? Saha taute. Te is what there? Ek, prathama vibhakti, bahuvachana. So the agent of what? Some action. Right? Mayam etam taranti te. Taranti is the verb. Taranti is the verb. Ke taranti, te taranti. You understand? They cross. This is how you have to understand it. All right. So I'm showing you that just with one thing I have taught you so far, that the agent of an action in Kartari Prayoga will always be denoted by the verb. Taranti is the verb. What is taranti? Tara, I'm telling you, is swim, to swim. Right? Taranti means what? They swim. They cross. What do they cross? We'll see later. Mayam. That which is an object is placed in second vibhakti. Mayam. So they cross over Maya. So that te is that te. So I'm saying, when you see a word te, unless you knew there is one te in Sahataute, there is one te sitting in, in this Asmat Shabda or in Yushmat Shabda, what are you going to do? If you sit with one te in your head, you will try to fit that te everywhere and it won't fit. It won't work. Okay? Therefore, sometimes half-baked knowledge is worse than no knowledge. So if you know you're half-baked, at least know you're half-baked. Then you're okay. Don't assume that the only word you know is everything you know. Yes, sir. Te mayi santu. Yes. What is happening there now? Yeah. Te. Te santu. Te santu. Correct. Te santu. Again, te is there. Okay. Now, which is the Shanti mantra? This one now. Bhadram Karnavi, is it? No. Apyayantu mamangani? Apyayantu mamangani vak pranashchakshushrotram athobalam indriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot anirakaranamastu nirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirate ya upanishatsu dharmaha te mayi santu te mayi santu. Now te dharmaha mayi santu. Te dharmaha is the noun. Te is what? Pronoun. What is it referring to? Dharmaha. Te dharmaha mayi. Mayi is, what is mayi now? Look at mayi, Asmat Shabda. It's the Saptami Vibhakti Ekavachana. Okay? Which means I am the Adhikarana, I am the location for that. Okay? What? Mayi is not Shashti. What did you say? Okay. I heard something else. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. So Mayi. Te Mayi Santu. So what is the interesting thing you can get? Forget Mayi for a moment. Okay. I haven't talked of Mayi yet. Te Dharmaha Te Santu. That much you understand. Means what? Dharmaha are the agents of being. Let the dharmas be. Dharma is not really an agent because it's not a conscious being. But still, in the sentence, it means let the dharmas be. Where? Mayi, in me. So I'm saying, you look at any sentence now. Pick up a sentence. Apyayantu mamangani. Let's look at that. Apyayantu mamangani. What does it mean? Apyayantu. Now, just remember for now, this antu ending is in lot, okay? Instead of anti, it becomes antu. So patanti becomes patantu. Apyayanti becomes apyayantu. That much you understand, okay? So apyayantu. What is it now? Bahuvachana, third person. So what should it refer to? It should be, it's a Kartari Prayoga, I am telling you that. So it has to denote a noun. What number and that noun should have now? It should be nominative and it should be plural. Now, apyayantu angani. What is angani? Anga means a part, an organ, a limb, right? Angani. Now, angani, what does it seem like? What's the possibility of the endings? Neuter, correct. What possibility is now? Prathama Bahuvachana or Dvitiya Bahuvachana. Now, I am telling you that Apyayantu is Kartari Prayoga. Now tell me, what is Angani? Correct. Why is it nominative? Because in Kartari, be precise, in Kartari Prayoga, the verb will denote the noun, and that noun has to go in nominative. Okay? Since it is denoting the karta, therefore it has to go in nominative. Therefore, angani is nominative. Now, what does it mean now? Angani apyay. Apyayantu means puri apyayane. Means growing, becoming full, becoming complete in a way, right? Or let them grow. Apyayantu, let them grow to their fullness. What? Angani. Now, angani is what? Limbs. Okay. What did we talk about? First class. Every class you have to remember, okay? Good. I'm glad you gave me that example, so I can continue with that later further. Every verb is the starting point of sentence. It connects to everything else in the sentence. But, and I said through karakas. Prathama karaka, dvitiya karaka, tritiya karaka, chaturtha karaka. I'm saying chaturtha, but I should say karma karaka, karana karaka. Wrong passage. I'm sorry, I'm correcting myself. Kartra karaka, karma karaka, karana karaka, sampradana karaka, apadana karaka, adhikarana karaka. Just for your reference, we're talking of nominative, accusative, etc. Okay? There's a small difference there. I want to use the word karaka. We will cover the difference later, but keep that in mind. Okay? Alright. Please hold your question. Let me finish this line of thought. I'll take your question. Okay? So now, here, angani is sitting there. Angani, we said, is plural. First person, plural. Prathama vibhakti, plural. Now the thing is, Shashti vibhakti I did not cover right now. I didn't tell about it. I told karakas. What is Shashti vibhakti used for? I said it is used for sambandha. To connect the relationship between nouns. Angani is a noun. What is mama? Look at aham shabda. Asmat shabda. What is mama? Shashti. Mama. What does it mean now? Mine. Something connected to me. Mama means nothing more. Something connected to me. Now, you see how it works. First, we start with the verb. Apyayantu. Verb. Pick the verb first in the sentence. Apyayantu. Then, it says it should grow. It should be fulfilled. Can it take an object? It looks like it. Okay? Sakarmaka. Then I have to ask the question. What should grow? Answer. Right? It connects with that in a way, right? It's agent too. It's not an object here. It's the agent. Agent of growing. Okay? Mama angani. Then, who's angani? Mama angani. Connects to another noun. Aham. Asmat is the noun there. Pronoun. Not noun. Pronoun stands for noun. Mama. Therefore, apyayantu mama angani. Then what? Vak pranaha. Now what do you do? Very simple. Take vak. Okay? Vak pranaha chakshushrotram atho balam indriyani cha sarvani. So you can actually do one thing. You can take vak. Vak is how many now? You don't know the vak shabda. Vak stands for speech. Vak vachau vacha. That's how it works. So it's prathama ekavachana. Vak apyayatu. Apyayatu. Why? Because not pathatu, like pathatu. Pathati patata patanti, pathatu patatha patantu, apyayatu, apyayatah, apyayatam, apyayantu, pathatu, pathatam, pathantu, in lot lakara. Don't worry about this. This is purely, you don't have to catch the endings, okay? Understand what I'm trying to show you here. That when I changed that walk, see, first it was angani. Angani was how many? Many. Now if I change that, it gave me an alert that if I don't act in 5 minutes, my screen sharing will stop. Okay. So, angani was many. Therefore, apyayantu. Why apyayantu has to be not angani? If I change it to apyayantu, what will happen? You have to have only prathama. Therefore, I am saying since vak is prathama and the verb and the noun are tightly coupled, one being the agent of the other, I have to say now apyayatu vak. Then pranaha. How many pranas are there? Prana is one again. So apyayatu pranaha. Or if we take prana as a collective noun, then apyayantu pranaha will be. Okay. Then chakshuhu. One. Shrotra. Atho balam indriyani. Now what happens? Plural, like angani. Again, apyayantu. This is how it works. So I'm saying, it's very nice. It's not very difficult. You can do this exercise with some things now. Pick up some verses in Gita. Try to figure out. Prathama, what's the verb with it? Find nouns which are in nominative singular. Find verbs with it. See whether you can see that relationship. Forget about everything else in sentence for now. Okay? Yes. Mm-hmm. See that apya, which one? Verb, okay, see the way it works is that verb apya, question here was this, the word apyantu is in plural. Yes, it is in plural. But then, you should understand that when a sentence is there, if there are other things which are singular, you take that word, put it in singular and make sense out of it. Don't try to say it's in plural, so I have to find some plural. You supply it. So if you see a bhashyam, sometimes you'll supply words which are not there. Right? That's what we have to do. Vak, prana, chakshu, shrotram. 1 second. Vak, prana. No. Vak, prana, chakshu, shrotram. See, how do you know it's a compound or not? Basically, what is padam? Go back to the fundamentals, okay? What is padam? Suptingantam padam. Here what are we dealing with? Subantam. Now you try to find a sup ending, which means an ending, a noun ending, like Ramaha, Ahader, Ramau. So here you see, Vak. Vak, Vachau, Vachaha. Vak is a clean ending. Okay? Then, suppose it was not, if it is a compound, it won't go as Vak, it will go as Vach. It will go as Vach. Okay? Pranaha, clean, like Ramaha. Pranaha, no. Pranaha should be that only. It has to be nominative singular. Okay. Pranaha, Chakshuhu. Each one has an ending. So they are words in itself. This is the way to spot a word. So again, don't forget. That's why I'm telling you, Suptingantam Padam might seem very trivial, but implications are huge. Everything I'm trying to make sure you understand implications, because when you don't get the implications, everything seems simple and mechanical. And then you have lost the fun. Get the implication and you get so much of language with one little thing. You're making progress. Okay? So that is what these are. Now we have covered Asmat and Yushmat. Main thing I wanted to note there was they are same across all the lingas, and the fact that they have multiple forms for the Dvitiya, Chaturthi and Shashti, which happen to be the same, and therefore you have to pay extra attention. And these are used very, very often. Needless to say, because we are talking of I and you. All the time it's used. So, homework. What is the homework? Rama Shabda was a very small homework for the last 4 weeks. Too little. Okay? And Bhu Shabda. Those of you who took the initiative and did Hari Shabda, Guru Shabda, I appreciate it. I know some people are trying to do that. But, I'm saying next step you should do is try to do the pronouns. You know? You should do that idam, tat, asmat, yushmat. Now, it's not too bad in life, okay, in the sense that if you're doing asmat shabda, or if you're, let's take the idam shabda for example. No, none of them fit in exactly very well. They're similar to Rama. Not entirely, they're similar, okay. For example, you will see, you know, ayam, imau, ime, idam, imau, iman, then anena. Instead of ramena, see, if you took the idam pratipadika, you should have got idena or something. Instead of that, you'll get anena. You'll see a pattern, okay? Anena abhyam ebihi. Ramaihi becomes ebhi. Sorry. Rama is what? Ramaihi here becomes ebihi. Some differences are there, but main thing I'm saying is anena abhyam, then asmai. That smai when you see. If you see a word with smai, it should make you smile. Saying I know it's a pronoun. Okay? Asmai, sarvasmai, tasmai, purvasmat. That smat, if you see those words, then it's a good hint for you it's a pronoun. Okay? Don't make this declension purely something to be memorized like a headache. See the benefits of it. As soon as you see a word with sarvasmat, sarvasmai, then you should know immediately that you know it's a pronoun. Pronoun means you know where to look for in this book. Okay? And if you are people who are used to chanting a Sahasranama or Ashtotra Shatanama, you will get two things there. If you are doing a Namarchanam, Om Omkara Simha Sarvendraya Namaha. Right? Chat Sarvendraya. That Ramavat. Right? Omkarodhyana Kokilaya Namaha. Omkara Nida Shukaraje Namaha. What happened? What is Shukaraje? What is Shukaraje? Don't even think. Has to be Chaturthi. Okay? Has to be Chaturthi. So once you know your Ashtotara Shatanama, if you know one, every word is Chaturthi. Just use it. Suppose you're doing Vishnu Sahasranama. Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Vishwam, nominative singular. Vishnu, nominative singular. Blind. Okay? So if any of you know our Sahasranamam, you know 1000 nominative singular words already. Ready-made. Bana banaya mil gaya. Okay? So don't even blink about it. You got it. Now the only thing is, suppose it says Vishwam. What does it look like now to you? Napumsakalinga. What is the Pratipadikam? Vishwa. Okay? So Akaranta. That's what I wanted to catch. Okay. Vishnu. Ukaranta. Like Guruvat. Vashatkaro. Vashatkara means Akaranta again. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. One word. Why? Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. That's where it's coming. Uhu. Prabhu. Ukaranta. Then? What's there after that? Bhuta Bhavya Prabhu. Bhutakrit. Bhutakrit. What is Bhutakrit now? That's one word. Takaranta. Marutvat. Okay? Now, see, I have shown you this book, Shabda Manjari. If you know the Vishnu Sahasranama, now you can take each word in Vishnu Sahasranama and try to understand what it will run like. Exercise for you. Those of you who have the energy and the enthusiasm can do it. No harm. And if you're also doing one Ashtotara of Krishna, some of those words will come Chaturthi. Right? Lalita Sahasranama, you will get all, okay, Vishnu Sahasranama, you will get all Pullinga typically, or Napumsakalinga typically. Lalita Sahasranama, if you're doing, so you'll get all the, you know, Bhavani, Bhavanagamya, Bhavaranya Kutharika, Bhadrapriya, Bhadramurtir, Bhakta Saubhagyadayini, Bhakti Priya, Bhakti Gamya, Bhakti Vashya, Bhayapaha, Shambhavi, Sharadaradhya. How many words you want now? They're all just going to come like that. So I'm saying, many of us, at least in my case, I find this to be a great benefit. I didn't know what I was saying, but I said some chants, right? Now all those come in very handy with the Vyakaranam also. They're there, just for the asking. You tap it and it's out, right? So I'm saying, aids for you to see these things, right? I don't want you to look at it as some rote work to be done from here. See the benefits of every single thing you do. Okay? All right, so let's move the screen a little further. So Yushmad Asmad Bhavat is like you, okay? It's in honor though. For example, if you want to say in Sanskrit, will you speak? What is speech? What is the word dhatu? Vad. I'm telling you, vad. So what will be for you speak? Vadasi. Now if I want to say you is tvam. Tvam vadasi. But that is not considered to be courteous. So I will say Bhavan vadasi. Bhavan vadasi. Bhavan vadati. I'm sorry. Bhavan vadati. Thank you. Bhavan vadati. You're right. Bhavan vadati, because that goes in third case of that. But what I'm, thank you, Prasanna. So that's what is happening there. So I'm saying that's another one. Then you have Kim. Kim is an interrogative. Kim is interrogative. Means what? Questioning. Okay? The Pratipadikam is Kim. But you again have three lingas. Kaha, Kau, Ke. So if you want to look that up, as I said, everything is in this section of Sarvanama. You don't have to go too far. Page 68 again. Yes, good. Same page. Good. Excellent. So you'll see Pullinga. Kaha, Kau, Ke, Kam, Kau, Kan, Kenaka, Bhyam, Kaihi, etc. Then Strilinga. Ka, Ke, Kaha, Kam, Ke, Kaha, etc. Right? Then Kim, Ke, Kani, Kim, Ke, Kani. And when I say those two lines, everything else is like masculine. So when you learn masculine, you actually learn masculine and neuter. Okay, benefit of learning masculine. You get double benefit. Buy one, get one free. Okay. So now, yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, let me actually check that out a little further, because with Bhavan you cannot say Vadasi. You'll have to take it to Bhavati. That's the rule. It's like this. I'll tell you what. No, I'll tell you what. In English also, even when you talk to Swamiji, you say, Swamiji, will you speak? People don't say. They'll say, will Swamiji speak? It's almost like you're talking about a third person. Maybe it's an English translation of what we do in Tamil and Kannada, etc. But that's how people talk here, right? Will Swamiji speak? And some people take offense if you say, Swamiji, will you speak? How come you address Swamiji like that? They take offense. You're not supposed to ask Swamiji, will you talk? No. Will Swamiji speak? So that's the way. Bhavan Varatika. Okay. So now I'm saying, go back to our infant reader, please. Infant reader, page 13. First, Prathama Pataha. Yes. 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 Correct. Okay. The question is this. Mama is singular, whereas Angani is plural. How are you making them two? Okay. See, what did I say earlier? My statement would take every word carefully, okay? I said if a noun is qualifying another noun, if it is something which is an adjective to another noun, only then they have to match. Okay? This is not a qualification, this is a relationship. You are a father of your son. Suppose you had two brothers also. Okay? Three brothers are the father of sons of one father. Now if you want to say I want to match it, then you want to become sons of three fathers or what? It doesn't work that way. You are all the sons of one father only, right? The relationship is such, one to many. So the relationship will depend, the linga will depend on the relationship. Suppose many fathers had many sons. Then I have to say many fathers have many sons. But if it's one father, I have to say one father has three sons. So what matters there is the relationship's nature. Get it? Alright. So now, if you opened up page 13, 1-3. 1-3. Prathama Pataha. Page 13. Okay. We saw this last time, but now I want you to pay attention to something slightly different. Look on the right side. What does it say? Prashnaha. What does it say? What does prashna mean? A question. Prashnaha means what? Questions. What is the unsaid dhatu here? Santi. Ye prashnaha santi. That's it. Santi you should say. As or bhavanti. You can say anything which is existential you can put there. Now, what is the first prashna? Ayam kaha. Ayam kaha. What is kaha? Kim pratipadikam. First, I want you to pay attention first to pratipadikam. Kim means what? What? Now, ayam is also what? Idam pratipadika. Right? These two are qualifying each other. So, ayam kaha. What is this? Okay? Answer is ayam ajaha, ayam gajaha, whatever. Right? Second one is what? Yam ka. What happened here? Which is Srilinga? Both words or one word? Good. Okay. Both words. Third one is what? Idam kim. Means what? Neuter now. What is this? First one was, who is this in a way, if I want to say masculine? Who is he? Just to make it simpler for us. He is an elephant. He is a goat. Who is she? She is a bala. Or, now in this case, as I said, see the gender is not the same in English. We can't say she is a garland. Right? But in Sanskrit, it is she. It is feminine. So, iyam mala. Then, idam kim. What is this? What is the answer? Idam patram. This is a vessel. Idam netram. This is an eye. Right?